what's up? My name is Daniela and today I'm going to do the Thank You Next book tag. This tag was created by Janani from the channel This Story Ain't Over, which is a great channel name, and I will link her video down below. And it's based around the new Ariana Grande song Thank You Next. I'm a new Ariana fan. Somehow I started listening to her only when Sweet Journey came out, which was this year, but I absolutely fell in love with her music, and when Thank You Next was released I listened to it on repeat, and yeah, it's amazing. Question number 1 is name a book that you said the thank you next to, which means you didn't finish it. I'm going to go with The Power by Naomi Alderman. I really wanted to love this book because the concept is really interesting. In this book, teenage girls can release electrical jolts that can hurt people or even kill them, and it's about the change in the power dynamics between genders, and I guess stuff goes wrong from there. I tried really hard to read this book, but I just couldn't get into it, and I really didn't like the characters, and yeah, the writing style wasn't for me, so I DNF'd it around page 100. Also, I had a weird experience with this book because I posted a reading update on Goodreads saying that it was dry and I couldn't get into it, and it posted automatically to my Twitter, and then the author responded to this automated tweet saying that I should probably stop reading it, and she basically said that she was giving me permission to stop reading the book, and it just felt super weird and inappropriate because the reading updates are for me and for the people who follow me, and I would never tag an author in a negative review or reading update, so she must have searched for her name, and this kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I really don't think that authors should respond to reviews. The next part of the tag you can answer either separately or choose 3 different books, and I'm going to go with 3 different books. So the next question is name a book that taught you love. Well, obviously Harry Potter, but to say something else, I'm going to go with The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This book has a special part in my heart, and it also played a role in my high school love life, so there's that. Question number 4 is name a book that taught you patience, and for this one I'm going to go with Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I read this in high school, and I remember that there were a lot of scenes that were kind of going nowhere, and there were like long descriptions of people working on the field and stuff like that. But I successfully got through it, and I remember that I quite enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to ever reread it though. Question number 5 is name a book that taught you pain. I'm going to go with The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, which is a heartbreaking story about World War II, but there were also snippets of happiness and hope. So it was an interesting reading experience because in the end I felt sad but also happy. Question number 6 is name a book that you loved at the time of reading, but in hindsight you do not like it as much anymore, but which you still learned some other quality from. That would be Looking for Alaska by John Green for me. I read this book last year and I really enjoyed it, but in hindsight it probably isn't that great. I read some reviews of people who complained about that there isn't really a plot and they didn't like the characters, and I kind of have to agree. The characters don't really do anything, they just hang out and smoke and drink, and it's true that depiction of some things wasn't ideal, but it taught me that I really like John Green's style. It's too bad that I only found out now at this age, but I can still enjoy his books, and yeah, it motivated me to read his other books, which I ended up loving, like Turtles All the Way Down. Question number 7 is name a book that you're currently talking to, which could mean a book that you're currently reading. And I'm currently reading A Stranger in the House by Shari Lapina. This is a domestic thriller about a woman who gets into a car accident in a bad part of town, and there is a murder nearby, so now she's a suspect, and she doesn't remember anything about the night. So now her husband is like, do I actually know anything about my life? And maybe he has some secrets too. I've already read The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapina, and I think that her thrillers aren't necessarily well written or exceptional, but they are quite entertaining. Stranger in the House isn't that thrilling so far, so I hope it will get better. Question number 8 is: name the book that gonna last, the book of you. The book that helped you love yourself a little bit more. This is hard because I usually don't relate to characters on a deeper level, like I can relate to what they are going through or stuff like that, but not necessarily to who they are as a person. So I'm going to go with a non-fiction book, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can Stop Talking by Susan Cain. The fact is that today's society heavily prefers outgoing, extroverted types that can really make their voices heard in social situations, and introverts are often told that they should be more insert adjective, and basically that they should try to be different than who they are, which is a messed up mindset. And I like that this book discussed the advantages of being introverted, and it was validating to read about this as a type of personality and not something you should be ashamed of or trying to change about yourself. And the last question is to tag someone, and I'm not sure who likes Ariana or this song, so if you do, please consider yourself tagged. Please tell me in the comments which book you said thank you next to, or leave any other comment. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!